Hey guys, we're going to talk today about how to prepare for a competition. I know we have the garage games coming up that some of you are doing. We also have the CrossFit Open coming up, so this kind of is a good kind of game plan or plans for those events. So we're going to break this down into three pieces: pre-competition, during competition, and post-competition. So pre-competition, this is about 2 to 3 days before, and when we talk about this, I'm more or less talking about like a one-day event. So 2 to 3 days before, let's talk about training really quick. So we want to kind of taper our training down a little bit. That means not necessarily take off, but maybe hold back on the heavy lifting, maybe not going as hard, not keeping as intense, keeping it about 85%, and then at about the day before, and we want to take a nice good rest day. And make sure we do a lot of mobility. Make sure on those couple days before that we do maybe a tester of the WOD. So maybe not the whole thing, but maybe a piece, just so you can kind of get a feel of it. As far as recovery, beforehand I kind of went into that already, but making sure that we have good amounts of sleep. So we don't want to be getting 4 hours of sleep the day before the competition, or even a couple days before the competition. We want to be nice and recovered and rested. We want to have mobility done, so working up to that point, staying nice and loose and limber, that's something that we can hit almost every day, and it's not going to have an effect on our training or the competition. And then nutrition, so clean eating. If we're not doing it already, it'll be very apparent that you need to do it before competition. And then also adding carbs in, that's carbohydrates. And I don't mean eating a box of cookies or a huge thing of ice cream the night before. I mean adding in some sweet potatoes, adding in a little bit more as far as like rice and that sort of thing, but not going overboard with sugar. And then drink plenty of water. So I've talked about this in my recovery video, but making sure that your water intake is appropriate for your body weight. And then food prep. This is one big thing that people forget or don't realize. During the competition, if it's a whole day, you need to make sure the night before, the day before, you have all your food prepped out ahead of time. And we'll kind of go over here in a second what to do for food during the competition. But making sure everything's ready to go and you don't have to worry about it the day of. So that's kind of the prep. During the competition, so the events. Number one, have a game plan. If you're a team or individual, whatever you're doing, have a game plan of how you're going to tackle it. Most of the events nowadays release it weeks or even months ahead of time. So plenty of time to have a game plan. Have a plan B, because 90% of the time our game plan doesn't go how we plan it to be. So have a backup plan. What's going to happen? So an A and B. If you're doing a team, have a captain or a leader of the team. So that way somebody, if things start to go a little crazy, somebody can take charge. And you know who to listen to, and you're all not trying to be your own leader. Everybody's looking towards that one person to see what comes next. And then the big thing is have fun. So there's no reason to stress about it, because it's not a life or death situation. Recovery between the workouts. So sitting down or laying down, and this is, before I get into this kind of depends upon how you want to take it. Is this something for fun, or are you being serious about it? If it's for fun, then it's going to be totally different of what you want to do. So on the serious note, we want to sit down, we want to find a quiet corner, we want to, just kind of take ourselves away from all the hectic craziness that's going on. Grab some music, lay down on the ground, close your eyes, don't go to sleep, but close your eyes and just try to relax for the most part. If you're on the opposite end and this is for fun and you want to socialize, then watch everybody else compete. Cheer on other people. Go and look at all the booths that have the t-shirts and equipment set up. So it's how you want to take it. But everybody needs to make sure they eat something in between. And that's going to be going a little bit more in nutrition here in a second. Make sure you warm up properly. If you're going to go on at 3 o'clock to do your workout, and that's the time frame, 15-20 minutes before, make sure you go through a warm-up. Get everything ready to go as far as what the movements are. Don't go into it cold. And then doing mobility. So if you're really starting to stiffen up from the last workout because it killed you, make sure during that break period between workouts that you're doing mobility on the areas that you know you need it. Nutrition, here's the big thing, and I think this is where people get a little confused and sometimes messed up and it hurts them. So nutrition, we want carbs and protein. We need to stay away from fat during a competition. It sits on your stomach. So protein shakes. Again, something high carbohydrate like a sweet potato. They make stuff nowadays that it has the carbs added into the shake. So you want to think simplistic, something that's not going to sit there. You don't want to eat full meals or a huge meal. I know it seems very appealing with all the paleo stuff that probably is at an event, but you want to try to stay to something easily digestible. So that's during the competition. Post-competition, so after everything's said and done. Big question is, should I come back? How should I train when I come back? And this is going to be evaluating how you feel. So if you're really good, then maybe the next week, don't go 100% in the gym. Keep the weights back a little bit. Give your body some time a little bit to recover. If you feel a little bit destroyed, you feel beat down, run down, then take 2 to 5 days of rest. Doing some light running or light rowing here and there with some mobility, but don't go back into it right away. Your body is telling you that for a purpose. So light aerobic work and some mobility 2 to 5 days afterwards. Another thing, I don't want to say cheat meal because that's not a good thing to do and make a habit of, but eat something you enjoy. You ate clean up to this point, hopefully, and you didn't do anything too crazy during the competition as far as eating stuff that you saw there. So have something you enjoy, whether it's a